Hi, my name's Melissa Duer, and I'm here to create a revolution on grief. Not grief related to death as you traditionally know it, but grief in non death events, our life events that have us changing identity. Anytime our identity changes, there's some amount of loss that happens. There's an ending that needs to be acknowledged and processed before we can move on to a fruitful beginning. Some of these life events are actually positive events, milestones like retirement that we've been planning for years and years and years. But the reality is, who are we next? What will we do? Where will we find our community and purpose? Same with college graduation. We've been students for so long that on the other side of graduation, we have a new identity that we need to form. Another area of loss that's not often recognized is with athletes in the end of their career, which can happen by graduating, coach issues, or even injuries. That sudden loss of camaraderie, sports, workout, time management, even wardrobe, right? Sports and sweats. So what I'd like to do is talk about these endings and beginnings from a lens of grief. Grief is not the 5 stages that we've all been taught to believe. That was actually done by Dr. Kubler-Ross while she was observing terminally ill patients and their acceptance of their own mortality. But as a culture, we have hijacked it and made it into a simple step process that we can easily work through. That just isn't the case. We really need to honor the period between our endings and our beginnings with a little bit of space and grace so that we can heal and really be intentional and discerning about who we want to become next, what we can control, and the things that we cannot control. These are meaningful conversations because the workplace is dealing with humans. Surprise, surprise. But there's $483 billion lost in productivity, absenteeism related to traditional death grief in the workplace. But also, that amount doubled, almost $1 trillion related to other life events and transitions that go unacknowledged and impact the employee's ability to be present and give you your best. Those employers who can hear this, can acknowledge it, and who are trained to listen to what's really happening, the emotions behind the words that are being spoken or not spoken, really do impact the employees. If you are not a great employer that's really available to honor the humanity of your employees, when your employees experience a loss, within 2 years, they will leave you if your environment and culture has not created a safe space for them to process their human experience. There's so much money behind these problems, and there's so much missed opportunity to connect to one another as human beings by showing up, being able to listen, being able to hear the emotions underneath the words, and learning how to get comfortable in the uncomfortable. I give many speeches and conversations and keynotes and training tools for people to become better listeners, become more engaged, be more present, and really amplify your presence as a leader in the professional arena, but also just as a person. We can all be a little bit better about listening and hearing what people are feeling, how they're feeling, and what they need in the moment. We have an epidemic going on right now of anxiety, which is really fear of what can be lost, depression, sadness over what has been lost, loneliness, loss of meaningful relationships, and burnout is a loss of purpose and control. When we understand that loss is the cause and we're treating the symptoms, we can really make a difference. It would be my pleasure to speak with you and your groups on all of these topics to make your life and the lives of the people around you better, deeper, richer, and more connected to one another. Thank you.